Hi, today I'm going to give an update on the COVID-19 transmission, and there's some development in this area. And the one most important policy change is the United States Center for Disease Control now advise everyone whether you have the symptom of the COVID-19 or not. You're going to wear a mask to try to prevent this virus infection. And the basis on this is that on this our new discussion or new understand how this virus is transmitted, and also some new knowledge on aerosol generation or COVID-19 bioaerosol. And that's maybe important because the aerosol is everywhere. And before we go into detailed discussion on this topic, let's watch a video to see how this aerosol was generated. And this video is generated by a professor from MIT, and just look how this respiratory passenger emission dynamics and the first video just showed the normal process. It's like normal breathing. You see that when we breathe, normal breath always come up a lot of aerosols. I should point out the virus aerosol is very, very small, so they can float in the air for a long time. And this is the middle strings when you breathe, maybe have. And the small breath, when you breathe out, and this aerosol is everywhere. They are floating along in the environment. Not some will go down to the floor, but most of the aerosols still floating in the air, especially for the aerosol that from condensed virus. And that example is a very strong sneeze. It's violent acceleration. That this aerosol can reach as far as 26 feet. As you can see from the video, and the aerosol is generated when we have sneeze. It generates a lot of aerosol. And also the aerosol can travel as far as 26 feet. And what I want to point out is that when we have normal breathing or normal talking, the aerosol also generated all the time. And also because virus aerosol actually is very, very small. And when you generate, and that will be floating in the air for a long time, at least 3 hours. So that's the big challenge for us to control this virus infection. So now let's have a look at the mode of transmission of the COVID-19. And for the direct transmission, we're already very clear that if we have direct contact with patient, and you can shake hand or just touch anything, you can get the virus. And also patients that have droplet spread in the same area. And today's development is indirect transmission, especially on airborne and vector-borne of this virus. And this is really new development for a new understanding of the virus transmission. That's why we have new knowledge, so we need to take new measures to try to prevent this virus infection. And as I mentioned, that talking and breathing can spread coronavirus. We already see the video. The aerosol is routinely created when we talking and breathing. And the reason is that our respiratory is not straight line. It actually contains a lot of turns and curves. So when we're breathing, when we talk, it creates some turbulence in the respiratory tract. And that's why when we talk, they create a lot of aerosols. You see that when we sneeze, the aerosol can travel as far as 27 feet. And the bioaerosol, that means the virus contains, in this case, contains coronavirus, and can be generated direct by talking and breathing of the infected patient. And now we have evidence that about 50% of people which are infected by this coronavirus have no symptoms. And these people, they of course may sneeze and cough, or even so, they don't have sneeze and cough, they may also have normal breath and talking. And by so doing, they generate a lot of bioaerosols. These bioaerosols contains coronavirus. They can float in the environment for a long time. So that's indicate that coronavirus not only in these hospitals because there's patient there, but also in all public environments such as on subways, bus, when you take some taxis or share ride. It's possible that the virus was existed in such environment. And based on all this information, that I think the United States Center for Disease Control made a very nice decision to advise everyone. And when you go to the public place, like you still routinely do the grocery shopping, or you go to public place like take subway or take bus, and try to have mask. That's at least not 100. There's no scientific proof that masking will have proof that can prevent this virus infection, but at least it's one layer of defense. At least you can prevent some of the aerosol to get into your respiratory tract. And this is a advice. I think I help everyone try to follow this advice, and that's not only prevent yourself, but you can help other people and to prevent this virus spread. And the news that Thai at Bronx Zoo test positive for coronavirus is everywhere, and this is very significant development in terms of this virus control, and also the future of how can we control this virus spread. We know this virus is come from animal, and this evidence this virus come from bats or come from penguins, and so the virus is transmitted from animal to human. Now we have strong evidence that this virus also can transmit from human to animals. This is one of the direct evidence. And that information is really important for us to take the procedures to how to prevent this virus infection. And it's likely that most animal not likely to have this, like human have such serious disease. And the transmission from human to animal, that means that animal can be infected by the virus. And this many animals have been identified that contain this coronavirus, but at least this COVID-19 is come from bats or pangolin. Now, this evidence that this virus can infect like tiger, and also have report this thing can infect dogs. And this just gives us some knowledge that this animal reservoir for this COVID-19, and this is a really big challenge, and it's clear evidence that we're going to coexist with this virus. That means there can be the big chance that this virus will be occur in the environment. So this disease will come back regularly. So we need to really have strategies how to prevent this virus infection. And so far, the only thing we can control this virus vaccine, but we don't know how long this vaccine will take us to develop to use in the population. Before have vaccine, we really don't have good measures to prevent this virus infection. Of course, right now, the only thing we can is social distancing, self-isolation, and self-quarantine. That's the only way for us to prevent this virus from spread. But I think I wish that next year we're going to have vaccine against this virus, and that would provide us a good tools to prevent this virus infection and spread. This is my thought for today, and I wish everyone keep healthy and happy. See you in my next video.